Hey, hello guys. So today I've decided to do a video outside, and today I've just received my chicks. So I want us to go through and see how their beds are doing because they're all performing well. So I want you to see how the beds are doing and how we did it. So let's go ahead and take a look at how the beds are doing. So hello guys. So I'm in the poultry now. Welcome back. And let me just show you. Let us go through how the beds are doing now, and show you how I prepared the room and how I had to fix up and I had to place in the bed. You see how the strategy and how the planning of how to put your bed in comes in. So let's go ahead and see how the beds were placed in and how we prepared the room. So this plastic was placed in so that during rain season there's always moisture coming from the floor going up to the top. So to avoid that from coming up because during brooding we put up the heat, which is 32 degrees Celsius. So when the heat is heating down, the moisture will always come to the top. So we put the plastic so that at least that moisture can be caught up in the plastic instead of going up where the boxes are, so that the surface part is always dry and it's hot for the beds to be comfortable, because if the beds are not comfortable, it's cold, they'll start dying. So that's the reason why we placed the plastic, so that it doesn't reach to the top to where the boxes are. So it's very important to put the boxes. So at least I bought these boxes from the beverage distributors, they distribute Coca-Cola and these other beverage drinks. So that's why I bought these boxes. At least they were cheap. So you place in the boxes to make sure they flow, and these boxes are very nice, and these boxes will always protect your beds from the cold, because boxes are nice during brooding time. I'm sure everybody knows that. These are better than newspapers, because newspapers are not thick, but the boxes are thick. They are so good for the beds, and beds will always enjoy the environment which has boxes, because when they poop on these boxes, they won't tear up like the way the the newspapers will tear up. So this, I was preparing the room to make sure the room is good, to make sure everything is in order. So I prepared the boxes. Where you are seeing where I was cutting those, it's where I put water when the beds are big. I had to make them permanent, because I used to have a lot of challenges when it comes to putting the blocks. They were not good enough for me, so I had to put these which are permanent, so that to make sure I don't have to put my water in. And these are the infrared lights that we light up to make sure the beds are in a nice environment, which is warm enough for them to survive. So these were my drinkers and my plates. I'm trying to see now where I'll place them to make sure they fix up. Yeah, so I was placing them just to make sure, like, okay, this is where I'll put the plates, this is where I'll put the drinkers, to make sure everything is in place. So that's the reason why I was trying that, to make sure, like, oh, okay, in my mind when the beds come in, like because they're coming tomorrow, I was very aware, like, okay, I'll put my drinkers there and I'll put the other one there, so that when I wake up, my mind is already programmed where I'll put the drinkers and the the plates, so that I don't get confused. If there will be just some little changes, it will be just a little changes, but I have to make sure, like, okay, these are placed there and these are placed there. So as I was doing here, like, I was like, oh, everything is ready now. When the beds come in, we can just place them in. So that's it, guys. Prepare the loom earlier before the beds come in, and make sure you know where you put your plates and where you're going to put your feeders and your drinkers, to make sure your plane is already programmed. It's important to make sure your plane is programmed. So that's it, guys. I prepared the loom like this. So later on this video, we'll go ahead and see how we placed the beds in and how they were performing and everything. Yeah, so that's the way the loom looked. Checking out how nice it looked, then it's very nice. So it's always good, especially when you are passionate about poultry farming. You always enjoy the environment, the way you prepare it, and the way it looks. So guys, let's see how we placed in the beds. Hey, welcome back guys. So I'm sure you liked the video and you like the way they go, the way we prepared the loom. And you know, if you'd like to see more content about poultry farming, I got some videos which are on this same channel. You can watch and learn about poultry farming. And please consider subscribing to my channel, because that will be so supportive and that will make me happy to do more videos to teach more about poultry farming. So guys, let's see now how we placed the beds in, how they are now performing, how we did the crop checking, so that we are able to see how now we go about to place the beds in. So don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and if you have questions, ask in the comment section and I'll be able to answer you. So let's go ahead and see how these beds were placed in. Oh my boy. So these are the chickens I've received. Oh look, stressed because of the traveling. So these are okay. You have to take them out. Since we've prepared the room already, so we check the temperature. So we have the temperature about that is 34 degrees Celsius, which is good. Start now unpacking the beds and see how. So you know, when you're unpacking the beds, you have to make sure you count them so that you got the correct number of the chicks that you're supposed to collect. So make sure you count them. So like, as I was doing here, I was counting the beds. I want to see the number, if the total number that I got is enough. Of course, we count the moment we are collecting the beds just there at the distributors where the supplier is giving us the beds. We usually count, but again, you have to recount the beds just in case. You know, maybe when the distributor was counting, he miscounted. So you have to also, when you reach, you count the beds again. You make sure the beds are enough, the beds, all of them look healthy. And one other thing, when you are collecting your beds there at the supplier, make sure you pick the boxes that have got healthy chicks. So as you take a look at these beds later on this video, I'll show you, you see how these beds are performing, because I picked out the boxes which had active beds. So you have to make sure you pick the box with active beds. So these beds were performing very well. As you take a look how nice the color looks. You know, I love the beds when they are, especially when they're small like this. So after 2 hours now, these beds had to drink water with stretch pack. So now let's see how they are performing when we gave them food to eat. Let's see how now they are doing, because they like the food they are eating. So I'll just go through and show you the sound they were sounding when they were eating the feed. You see how they are feeling good because of eating, and they like the feed which they were giving. Like I always say, always give your birds good quality feed. So let's see how they are eating now. Welcome back, guys. Now it's past about an hour now. So now we want to do the crop checking. We want to see how the birds have eaten. We want to see how much food they have in their crop, so that we are aware if the birds are eating or maybe they are not eating. So we need to see. But on these birds, let me show you how they are doing. I can surely tell you, like, they like the food and they've got more appetite, which simply means these birds are going to give us good meat because they are eating way too much. They've got good appetite. So the birds are doing well. So let's do the crop checking now, guys. So the crop checking was successful. You can see from here, this check here, the crop here, it's very, very, very full. Since the birds are eating, even this one you can see, very full. They are enjoying the food. You can see that my chest are big because of they are eating. Very good. You can see from this guy. These birds are eating. This is very good. I have to check. See this one? All of them. These are drinking. You can see the crop. Some are overeating. You can see. So these birds are doing very much okay.